Those dance moves! Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another brand spanking new episode of Cue the Review. Of course, we have the scary as fuck sack over here. Take it. Yes, take it. And of course, there's truly Mario. Now, we're going to be talking about the how much money? I think it broke records in terms of a September release and
Thus far.
Did it break a record in terms of being rated R for a September release as well?
I don't know about that.
No,
maybe.
But
I wouldn't be surprised.
Opening weekend definitely it broke records in terms of a new horror movie release, and yeah, people are getting a good response out of this. They're praising the actors, the effects, the overall tone of the movie.
Yeah. They amped up a lot of things.
Oh hell yeah!
And then they cranked it up to 10. I was very surprised in a lot of spots with this film. The trailer did a good job of not quite setting the tone. Like, it's close to that, but there's a little shift, especially at the beginning, with what the trailer didn't show, that totally shifted the tone of the film for me. And
I see. And we'll definitely expand on that. But as you know, the director we have here, we're going to cheat right now. The director is Andres Muschietti. I had to look it up because that's the weirdest last name. Muschietti. Try to say that 5 times. He directed Mama, which another horror movie that I really like.
Yeah.
Up until the end.
Yeah, when that had a very quick downslope incline, but still a very good overall film.
Yeah, no, it's very respectable, and I am surprised, especially this is just like his second or third movie he's ever done. It is extremely impressive, I have to say. And of course, we have the writers Cary Fukunaga, Chase Palmer, and Gary Doberman. I believe Fukunaga was actually going to make, as you all know, in the actual book, he was actually trying to incorporate the actual sex scene and the whole really the most gruesome stuff from the book, basically.
I could see. I thought they were gonna go there too.
He was trying to do it, but they're the ones that were like, okay, you got to tone it back. we're trying to stay away from NC-17, which was from off the get go, it would have been really fucked up, but at least they would have stayed true to the tone of the book. But I mean, I'm fully satisfied with what we have right now. I mean, I don't think anybody was asking for that.
No, I was not. I did not want that. I was hoping the entire time they would not take it that far. I mean, you're right. Like, with the current tone that they have with the film, that would have been way too much.
Fuck yeah, that would have been too much.
That would have been way too much to add on. And honestly, you don't need it.
No, you don't.
The way that they portray that relationship with the girl and the dad. What's her name again?
The dad's name is Elle Marsh, portrayed by Stephen Bogart.
But her name is that Megan Carpenter, right? No.
Yeah, no, it's Sophia Lillis.
Sophia Lillis. Man, that was a savage relationship already. Like, they already set the tone the first time you see them together.
And I gotta say, the real star of this movie is just the entire cast, because I mean, it works as an ensemble.
It does.
I mean, the chemistry between these kids is really something that I feel like. I mean, sure, it's a horror movie, and it does have genuinely freaky moments. It really does have, horrible shit when you get down to it that you never think about in the trailer. But no, the kids actually did have good chemistry. They had a good dynamics between each other. Every kid felt like an independent character with its own personality, with its own trials and tribulations.
I really had to give it up to the writing.
Yeah, the writing was
putting
amazing.
together so many characters too. There's 7 or 8 kids.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
One or two kind of feel a bit, squeezed in there through the cracks.
We'll go into that more. Yeah, 1 or 2 just weren't quite there, but for the most part, how they focused on each individual character, especially with how it pertains to their fears and everything, was perfect. They knew the exact amount of time they needed to set everything up, because they were so concise about setting up everything. They weren't overblowing what their fear was. They just hit the point, freaked you the fuck out, moved on to the next kid. And And the editing too, I have to say, was flawless. The flow between each of the characters,
Yeah.
you never were like, you never felt lost with like, oh, okay, now we're with this character, or it didn't like feel jarring at least.
At least for me, one of the drawbacks in the plot structure is that yes, because you're following, at least for like the last hour of the movie, like you're following each kid independently throughout the whole time as they experience, you know, what they experience with Pennywise. So in terms of pacing, I did really appreciate that because if you don't like what's going on with one kid, it doesn't even take 10 minutes for the movie to go to like the next kid and like, oh, this is what his fear is, this is what they're experiencing, what their personal life is like, how they are within the group. And even though I did appreciate that, it did feel like it was a bit predictable at times. Because especially from seeing the trailer, I already knew at least half of the stuff that was happening within the first hour, maybe hour and a half.
Well, kind of, because what I did like them not showing in the trailer, like when they have like the scene of the blood just out of the sink, they don't show how that got set up.
No, that's a really good setup.
And that was a really good setup. Like,
yeah, and I mean, if you read between the lines in that entire scene, it really explains a lot about her relationship with her father.
Oh yeah. The subtlety of everything blows up very quickly in your face. Well, in their face.
Yeah. And no, it really does, like, another one that I actually thought was cool, and it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer with the the burning hands coming out of the door. That was definitely, and I wish they would have used that a lot more because I thought that was a really neat effect.
Yes.
Because at least for most of the other kids' fears, it's heavy on the CGI, and well, definitely touch on the CGI. But that was the one scene where I was just like, oh, that was so brutal. And when they opened the door and that's when you see what's inside, that's like, that was like one of the scenes that really did get to me.
Yeah, that scene, and there's this scene with this like really creepy Dorian Gray like photo.
Yeah.
And it is like the portrait alone is fucked up. It's like this woman with like this.
Yeah, it's like the screamer.
Like the scream face.
Yeah, exactly.
But his hands aren't there. The face is just like that. And
exactly.
And it's like I think it was the mom or something. There was like this weird relationship with like that portrait because he wouldn't look at it.
Yeah.
When he came into the room.
Like he was already scared of it to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
And when that thing came alive,
I feel like that was kind of a mama thing, man, because it kind of looked like like the actual ghost in Mama, where her face is all smushed up and stuff. But I really did like how all of these kids had like their own personal little hell.
Again, just the setup for everything.
Yeah, it was
spot on.
It was well structured, but I felt like the drawback was that it was predictable,
but still thrilling.
Yeah, because I mean, sure, like for all of its faults, the movie moves really fast. If you don't like one thing, it's gone in the next minute. So you don't even feel the 2 hours and a half pass by. I thought it was like an hour and a half, 2 hour movie.
Yeah, it flows so quickly. There's always something moving it forward, which I appreciate so much. It's just, you're always constantly like, what's next? And like, what the fuck next?
Yeah, exactly.
You always want to know what's going to happen.
And even if you're not really feeling like the horror elements and the more, I would say, fantasy-related elements, again, I'm going back to the chemistry with the kids, man, because at the end of the day, this movie is about their friendship. It's about the camaraderie they have between them. And there are some genuinely, like, really heart-touching moments. Yeah. Like, they are so sweet, especially, like, Sophia Lillis, who has that little exchange with the battery kid. I forgot his name. Yeah. But, no, it's moments like that actually make you feel like they're actual people that are real, with whatever insecurities and fears they may have, they are people in the end.
And it's so relatable, too.
Yeah.
Like, they keep to that period. I think we were talking about this earlier, too, is this... Everything that the kids say in the dialogue was very well written. Like, the jokes and
they actually
their
sound
environment.
Like the jokes that would come out of a 12-year-old's mouth, basically.
Yeah, it was spot on.
Which half is dick and ass jokes.
Oh, I know.
Which you can explain is a lot of our humor now. Humor review, number 1.
But it was all relatable, and I really liked they go to a quarry and they're just swimming. That scene was really good. Like, that was just a really nice, like...
It was the perfect encapsulation of summer. That's really, yes, it is, yeah.
It is, and it was very, like, Stand By Me.
Yeah, exactly.
At some moments.
I was thinking Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to stay with Stephen King, but that works too.
Dude, oh my god, dude. Wes Anderson has to make a scary movie now.
Oh, I know, right? But, that scene, and just... The characters were always... so invested
Yeah.
in each other, and it gave like a lot more umph to the story. Like because they gave a shit, I gave a shit, and it made it really nice.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what did you think about the special effects? Because even though it doesn't look like a lot of it in the trailer, this is a very CGI.
It is
movie.
heavy in
Yeah,
CGI.
it's
like
heavy.
a lot more than I was expecting. A lot more. But
a lot of it is used very creatively, I will say.
and a lot of it pertains to it.
Yeah.
Like I would say 90% of it.
Yeah, he's basically like your blank canvas. Like he's literally what you can just staple anything onto, and he'll just marinate in it. Basically.
Yeah. I was surprised about how much there was, but there was never a point where I was like, "This is really bad."
Yeah.
Like it looked so real.
Really?
And, like for me, like there's some spots that was like very obvious.
Yeah, no, there were a few spots for me too.
Which was fine. But like the blood in the bathroom.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
thanks. They're like squeeging it off the window.
I know. No, and actually, that little touch that even though all of this horrible shit is happening in broad daylight, nobody else can see it because only the kids who interacted with Pennywise can actually see it.
Yeah.
And just going back to Pennywise, dude, Bill Skarsgård just pull a Heath Ledger on this thing because you cannot recognize. I mean, sure, he's like in 3 layers deep in makeup.
Oh yeah.
But he just encapsulates the character and just turns it into something completely of its own. Not, I don't see it as a tribute to like Tim Curry, who did the last It. It very much he did his own thing, and they actually said that just to keep it how do you say, a lot more fresh and keep the kids on their toes. He was actually not allowed to see any of the cast up until his scene. So all of the shots that you see with Pennywise
legit, yeah.
are the last scenes in the whole production process. So
so freaking
that's
crazy.
that's something to make you think about. Like, wow, these kids were just like mulling it over in their heads, and once they actually saw it, it's almost like the actual movie. They projected their own fears into.
I'll explain why it looks so good.
Yeah.
Literally, you saw their face.
I know.
He's with us, right?
I know, especially when that one kid reveals that his worst fear is clowns, where he's like,
oh, dude, I'm like, hey,
You're-
yo,
"You're in the wrong movie, dude."
God, dude, yeah, that fucking room with the clowns, I was not down for that.
Not at all.
There's a lot of things I was not
Oh
down
my
for
God,
in this
dude.
film, but yeah, going back to the CGI, like, there's like some weird, like, crazy scenes with it.
Mhm.
Like,
oh yeah,
he becomes like a contortionist artist. Oh, it's like,
yeah.
it does
He
a
becomes
lot
the
of crazy.
ring girl
Yeah,
at times.
And he does this. We were talking about this earlier today. He does this weird, fucked up, like, I'm not down with this. He like looks at you, and it's like everything's still, and then it's that rush,
Yeah.
and he goes towards you, and you're like, no.
I know, it's like a kid after a sugar rush. It's hilarious.
No, it is not.
It is
No, it is
It
not.
was hilarious to me. It was
Oh
funny
my
to me,
God.
man. Come on, because Pennywise is supposed to
fuck.
be funny. You know that.
No, that was not funny at all.
Take it.
God, dude.
Oh yeah, no, but man, dude, he stole the fucking show. Like, even
Yeah,
those
he
kids,
did.
there was not a bad performance. The only performance I would say, and without getting into too many spoilers, was less about their quality and more about the quantity of how much they are on screen. We get a character thrown in a bit too late into the
Yeah.
game, and I don't really see their purpose of being there. That was the one thing that I felt like the movie would have been fine without. But I mean, it's not like he brought the movie down at all.
No, so we're referencing like there's this black kid that like comes in. Yeah, it is a little
Like almost halfway.
just a little like, even if they was like in the scene just before, where like it was very close, like,
Yeah.
of where they should have introduced him, but he is kind of wedged in, and it's like they just accept it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, cool, you see the same shit. Okay, cool.
I mean, at least they were making that connection in that all of these kids are bullied by the same asshole.
right, but in terms of like
His
the
development.
friendship
Yeah.
is not there.
Yeah. It's
Like, obviously they care so much about like the fat kid or like the girl and stuff like
Exactly.
that. Like, I feel like he could have gone missing. They're like,
I think he almost
yeah,
went
I
missing
think we're missing someone.
in the sewers, didn't he? Guys.
Like, he was definitely like the weak weakest link.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I wouldn't
He had
say...
a cool backstory.
Yeah, no,
but
he
definitely the
did.
weakest
And he brought me one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't hold it up against him. Not that he's a bad actor. He just
wasn't written
He just
in.
wasn't written in. It definitely felt like a very last decision kind of, last minute decision.
But even though it was wedged in, again, he had a very good performance.
Yeah.
And he played his part well. And he just, if he was just written in just a little bit more. And then even the relationship with like the bully and everything, I didn't quite. It was hit and miss for me.
Okay.
Like with his like he was brutal.
Yeah, no, he was.
No doubt.
He was a piece of shit.
But sometimes I felt it was a little over the top.
Now, see, I
Like
understand how you would feel that, but
when he was messing with the black kid or the fat kid,
yeah.
that scene at the bridge was a little too much.
Now, see, I understand that, but I felt that once they actually showed what the relationship with his dad is like, that's when I was like, oh, that's why. This is all learned behavior. But no, I mean, seriously, it's a mini spoiler. Just to, scare the shit out of his son, he shoots his gun at his feet, you know? So it's one of those things where I understand, if he's capable of this violence, with his kid, then of course his kid
even think about it. He doesn't even
piece
pause.
of shit. So yeah, no, I did understand why that whole thing happened. His kind of interaction with Pennywise was what I kind of thought was kind of weird. Like they just did it just to move the story forward. But I mean, it moves the story forward in a really interesting direction. So I have no major complaints.
Yeah, I wish that hadn't been his connection with Pennywise wasn't necessary. I feel.
Yeah.
I kind of see how they try to wedge that in to move the story forward, but that part I didn't quite get. I thought Pennywise was possessive.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Wasn't quite what it was almost, but not quite that. That would have been cool though. Yeah. Just the all wide-eyed
I know. You'll float too.
Oh God, no. Jesus. Okay, speaking of stealing the show. That kid.
I know, dude. Little Georgie.
Oh,
Little Georgie, if you're out there. Oh my God, dude. He was so sad and endearing at 1 second, and then right to the fucking next, he was scaring the shit out of you. That creepy little thing. What's his name?
Jackson Robert Scott, man.
Yeah. Wasn't really come out in a lot of stuff.
No.
Honestly. Yeah.
We're cheating again.
I know.
We're sorry. Is that his only film?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can see. So
what?
I don't know where the fuck they caught this kid. Maybe they got him from the sewers, but he's good.
If this is your debut, kid, you have a future ahead of you.
No, dude, I'm actually excited to see what Bill Skarsgård is gonna do, because this is. I mean, sure, all the kids were good, but he's the star, and this is gonna open so many doors for him.
Definitely,
so
for a lot of them.
Forward to that,
all these kids, such great acting. I was so impressed, and they really did a good job of encapsulating the original story and just again amping it up and making it so much more intense.
I know, man.
The original It was already so fucked up. At least for me. I hate it. Fuck, man.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen it in a long time, so might as well have not seen it. I do remember major scenes, and maybe I blocked it out because I watched it at the right age to watch that movie.
Right.
So,
No.
No, but I mean, I did like what they did, and no, I thought you were gonna get him out.
No.
No, but sure, I absolutely did love all the characters. My only drawbacks are, again, with a bit of the predictability. I felt that the soundtrack was a bit too much borrowing from other movies at times. Did you not get that feeling? Especially when they were in the sewers. That was a very familiar soundtrack.
Oh, it wasn't weird for me because stolen at least.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, where did you feel the stolen part? Because the person who did this was Benjamin Wallfish. And he has a really good repertoire. I mean, he's worked on Dunkirk, Moon, 12 Years a Slave. I mean, he has a good, repertoire again. But no, because I felt it kind of was aimed towards being the original.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just trying to get that classic feeling.
No, I did like how it actually sounded like an 80s score. Yeah. But at the same time, I felt like it was borrowed from a lot of other scary movies. But actually, I've also wanted to compliment on the editing. And there was a few scenes here and there with I saw your little photographer glitch. We're like, ooh.
Which part was that? What was the best part?
And that was when they actually positioned the camera to the perspective where this kid
Oh,
was seeing
that was awesome.
a crooked portrait, and he was actually moving, straightening out the camera, making it look like he was straightening out the portrait.
Yeah.
One of my favorites was actually in the trailer where you see the blood sink, just spilling out from the sink. When it transitions into the next scene, it's actually this kid who's in love with the girl. He's drawing her, and you see like from the wall actually drops falling on it, like it was like the actual blood. So yeah, no, little attention to details like that really made it for me. And I felt like a lot of the camera angles that they used were also very surprising. I mean, just at the title intro, how like the camera spins around towards the exit of a sewer line, and then you see it. So yeah, I really thought that was unique as well.
That and it was less with editing, more with like the composition of the camera, where it was like, I don't know if you noticed, there was a lot of long takes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like through the hall and like, oh man. Like,
again, Spielberg.
I know, right? Classic. But it flowed so well. And then like, that's why another thing like why the music didn't bother me is it edited so well.
Yeah.
With the film.
No, I would definitely say it did keep up with the pace of the movie.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And they knew how to set the pace really quick. Yeah, that's one big thing with editing is they knew the right time to slow down.
Yeah.
And like their system of just, especially with Pennywise, that's what freaked me the fuck out. They knew when to make him do the thing, and they knew when to like have him slowly do something, and that's the shit.
Yeah, man.
That
Sometimes
really
slow is scary.
Yes.
As you know, with Alien Covenant, sure, they brought us back to Xenomorph, but it wasn't, the same level of dread when you see him climbing up walls and jumping all over the place in the actual original movie where you actually see him pacing towards you and actually...
It's more of a hunt.
Yeah, exactly, And yeah, this is all a game to Pennywise, so I actually did like, even when he looks like he's clearly gonna get his ass beat by the kids, he's still just playing it up as a game, I did like how... Yeah, he's basically like this malleable character. You could just, if you're written yourself into a corner, Pennywise will find a way out of it, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And even if he's literally pinned down almost, like, fuck, there are some moments when, like, going back to the CGI, like, his face and teeth do fucking crazy ass shit. And it looks so fucking fun. It's like bordering on too fake looking.
Yeah.
Like especially like...
No, but that's it. See now, okay, so my complaints with the CGI were, sure, at first I felt like maybe they were a bit fake. When they started introducing more of the CGI, that's when I was like, oh, maybe it's not working. But as I saw more of how Pennywise was portrayed, I felt that how fake it looked almost added to, how eccentric and how, as you said, over the top Pennywise is. So it really didn't bother me. If anything, it actually benefited to how cartoony and outlandish Pennywise was, who was very unpredictable. He would have been eating you 1 second and making you laugh the other. So I really did like that.
Yeah, even though he was over the top at points, it wasn't over the top. They knew the right moments to make him frantic and just like crazy. Like there's like this,
and they're just waddling over like the flooded basement. Just
even though like it looked really fake, and like bad, it worked so well. Yeah, this one scene is they like find the lair kind of Pennywise.
Yeah,
and he does this dance.
Oh,
remember this? And he's just like standing there doing the jig, and there's just like fire behind him.
What actually also looks really bad was that they actually have the camera just focused on his face, so the whole surroundings move around. I forgot what that method is called. You'll probably remember. But yeah, the whole background is just shaking, but you're just focusing in on his head like a pigeon. Like you're moving him all around, but his head stays in the same place.
Yeah. It looked really, like the background looks so cheesy, but he makes it so real. You're like, because he's just like playing it up, and he's just trying to be just funny. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Because he's Pennywise the clown, the dancing clown.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so it was also the film was actually edited by Jason Valentine, who I cannot see anything else. I mean, I think he worked on Mad Max. Oh, and one of your movies, The Great Gatsby. There you go. Hooray! So what do you say? Are we ready for ratings?
I think we're ready for
I
ratings.
think we're ready for ratings.
Yeah. Note, we got to see this in the Dolby,
which vastly improved the experience.
Oh yes.
I mean, the first time we saw, that was my first time I saw it in AMC Dolby. We actually saw Atomic Blonde, which for at times it was great, but I was just like, wow, this looks so good and sounds amazing. I wish I was watching a better movie.
Right.
And hooray. Yeah.
This made up for it.
No, it definitely.
This time they only reminded us twice what it was.
Yeah. So yes, how about you go first?
Man. Oh man. Fuck. This is actually.
Like I said, you gotta let it marinate, man. But we're on the spot now.
I know,
It's
man.
happening.
I want to keep on letting this marinate, but
don't worry. Just let people judge you as they will.
I know, right?
I mean.
You know what? I'm gonna do it.
Get up your ass.
Spoiler alert. No, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do this fucking get off your ass. Like I was gonna let it marinate before because I was thinking like I don't want to like jump the gun and just like say that, you know, and be like later like ooh like maybe, you know, see it in theaters, but you know, no, like I fully enjoy this. This film surprised me in so many ways, and I normally don't like horror films. Like the original It was the only other one that I like legitimately was creeped out by.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other, like, you can show me any of the other fucking horror films on Netflix or anywhere else, not that scary.
We get it, Zach.
Yeah, whatever, yeah, you're a man, whatever. Though this was fucked up in so many scenes.
It's so
like,
messed up.
I have to say, the girl gets it fucking rough.
Of course, man.
Oh my god. That bathroom, you guys don't, you have to see the
I
bathroom
know,
scene. That's why you have to get off your ass just to see that
And that
scene.
kid in his placebos, man, you don't fuck with that, man.
My other fanny pack. What the fuck? No, the casting, spot on. The editing, the writing, everything came together so fucking well. And Pennywise, man, fucked up. And the CGI everything was on point.
Mhm.
And they didn't overdo too much stuff. And there was one or two things, again, that didn't quite fit some characters. And, you know, some of the CGI was, I would say easily 95% of this film was spot on. So I would definitely say get off your ass. The Dolby experience was worth it. Was worth the 20 fucking bucks.
I know.
It was worth it though. Just the surround sound and just when you're in the creepiest places like the sewer, I like the little details you can hear. Just... Fuck. That.
Yes, those noises exactly
Around every corner.
as they are.
Yeah, I would definitely say get off your ass and fucking watch this.
Okay, so aside from all of the private part sucking I've been doing with this movie, one thing I will also compliment is that at first when we were watching the trailer, I remember I told you, oh, you know what, they're kids, this is actually going to benefit the movie. If they make stupid decisions, it's going to be more believable.
Right.
This is one of those scary movies where they're not making extremely stupid decisions.
Kind of. But...
Extremely. I said extremely. They're not going all the way. And when they are making stupid decisions, there is an actual motive behind it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You actually
There is
feel
strong
like...
motive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, I am scared of my fucking mind, but I would do that too if I were in your shoes. So, now, like I said, that first hour is very, very, very predictable.
Yeah.
Because it's very much like a robot chicken of all the characters and all of their experiences with it. It just goes to the next scene, goes to the next scene, goes to the next scene. They do have a bit of connection here, but it felt like very much like they were rushing it. Because I mean, sure, it's a 2.5-hour movie, but we have like 8 characters.
There's a lot to set up.
So yeah, exactly. There's a lot of setup,
and they want to do it right.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they did do it right, but I felt that's what made the movie predictable, especially not blaming the trailers, but if you have seen them, at least that first half of the movie, you know where things are going. But then it gets way the fuck out there, down into the sewers, man. I really did enjoy that, and I just have to say, man, I love all that chemistry that the kids had, but at the end of the day, I want to see Bill Skarsgård again. Like, I definitely want to see, because he has such a performance that you can easily miss something if you're not looking at it like all the time. You know, he's like this twitchy, just creepy motherfucker. I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna give it a get off your ass.
There it is.
There's no way for me. I'm like trying to like find things wrong with the movie.
It's hard,
but I could only find 2 things to complain about. Like I said, like the soundtrack and the kid that they added at the last second. But I felt like that's not the false kid. That's just shitty writing.
Right.
So I have to give this a get off your ass. I was trying to find like a lot of things wrong with it. Sure, it's not a perfect movie. But goddamn,
it's so enjoyable.
Close.
It is so
pretty
enjoyable,
close, man.
I was having so much fun with that whole film.
Yeah, it's very comedic, which was what I was not expecting. There's a lot of funny moments. I mean, sure, there was
it
a
knew
couple
to give
misses,
you the relief.
but yeah, exactly.
It really did. Like
when you needed it, it was there.
There was always a dick.
It doesn't last long before shit goes down again, but it gives it to you.
yeah, and it goes down hard and so.
Oh
my god, like these kids are fucked for life.
Yeah, no, dude. I know the entire like sequel is just gonna be about them sitting down like. So I had this dream about clowns again. I swear to God.
Wasn't that like 27 years ago? Yes.
Yes.
You weren't there, man.
Oh man. And you know what? I'm gonna put it out there. When they actually do the sequel and we follow the kids as adults, Tobey Maguire better play the main kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he looks exactly the fucking
It's such
same.
a young Tobey.
Like seriously.
If you didn't know this, which I guess it kind of could go under the radar.
Yeah.
This is it, chapter 1.
They are that confident that they're putting chapter 1, and even though it sounds ballsy and arrogant as fuck, I'm just like, all right, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
You do you, boo.
Right? I'm okay with it. Like that was the first time with a film.
Or it actually feels natural to make a sequel.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as it's this quality.
Yeah.
We always have a great time with sequels.
I know. It too, directed by Michael Bay. Yay!
I'm gonna find every reel
explosions everywhere
and burn every one of them. Too bad everything's digital now. God
I know.
damn it.
It'll be like the E.T. video game. We just have to bury them out in the desert. It's over.
Just gonna plant that virus and just auto-delete. Self-destruct.
Oh, man. So we have very little time. So what is there one thing you want to spoil? Like one thing?
Fuck, dude. Yes.
Yes.
When they stab Pennywise through the head and his face starts growing out the side.
Dude.
Get the fuck out! You're just standing there.
No, man. What I thought was going to be a really silly and really outlandish scene was when all the kids finally gang up on Pennywise. And I thought, oh, great. They're going to do the whole thing where they're going to kick him in the nuts, bite his leg. And goddamn, dude. That's
Those
like,
kids went.
that shit is like
Metal
something
House.
from an anime, man.
Yeah.
I swear. Like one kid, like it's like he's using all of the specified fears at once to all the kids. And I mean, of course, my favorite again with the burning arms just coming at the kid. Another great show, cinematography, where they're actually showing this kid surrounded by rotten arms. He's like, ah! Yeah, I don't know, man. Those arms, they did it for me.
They did.
Yeah.
And then the only other one is Mullet Kid.
Oh yeah, Mullet Kid.
Gets it fucking rough.
Yeah.
Like he totally deserves it, but he
Yeah,
has a brutal death.
He goes down a very patricidal path.
Yeah, like they fucking like the black guy like shoves him down a well, and you just see every bone start breaking as he fucking follows, like he falls down. Like
I love how they didn't do like the whole dramatic like no, you get some ricochet action out of the walls of that well.
I almost wanted that shot of the kids like in the tunnel wall, like in the hole, like
yeah. I know, just. Well, there he goes.
just like he splats against the wall and hits him in the face. Like,
Oh man, but yes, no, absolutely. You guys have to get off your asses and watch this.
yes,
movie.
please do.
So please check us out wherever you can find your podcast. Sure, you're watching us on video right now. We will do these more often. Check out these beautiful framing faces right there. Oh yes, good stuff. Yes. So our main shindig is the podcast. So check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. We're also on Facebook. Anything else that you'd like to bring to the good people?
We're gonna try at some point. We're professional. We're gonna bring you the original It.
Yes.
In our rehash. So after watching this, it'll be very interesting to go back and see that little comparison. So we'll probably be talking about this one during that rehash, but still, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's a rehash, kid.
Enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and really quick, if Bill Skarsgård wouldn't have gotten the role, it would have gone to Hugo Weaving. Yeah, he was in the finals.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe. But again, I can't. That performance was spot
Yeah.
on. I
No,
can't
he just
see
takes
it.
off the clown mask. He's the Red Skull. Takes that off. He's Megatron. I can keep doing this, Zach.
Let's not. Let's not. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in again, and we'll see you next time.
Yo, Flow 2!